Namaskar. Myself, Dr. Dipti Vij, Professor, Department of Kaya Chikitsa, Faculty of Ayurvedic Sciences, Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. In today's session for class BMS fourth year, we will continue the topic hypoparathyroidism. In last lecture, we discussed about hyperparathyroidism. So let's start the topic with introduction. So before starting the topic, I will recall a few things regarding the thyroid gland and its mechanism. So, as you all know, parathyroid glands are so named because they are usually located behind the thyroid gland in the neck, and these glands, usually 4 in number, contain the parathyroid chief cells that sense the level of calcium in the blood through the calcium sensing receptor and secrete parathyroid hormone. Magnesium is required for parath hormone secretion. Under normal circumstances, the parathyroid secretes this parath hormone to maintain a calcium level within normal limits, as calcium is required for adequate muscle and nerve function, including the autonomic nervous system. Parath hormone acts on several organs to increase calcium levels. It increases calcium absorption in the bowel, while in the kidney, it prevents calcium excretion and increases phosphate release, and in bone, it increases calcium through bone resorption. So, these are the function of parath hormone and parathyroid gland. So, hypoparathyroidism, it is a rare condition that occurs when parathyroid glands in the neck do not produce enough parathyroid hormone. This can lead to low levels of calcium in the blood, often causing cramping and twitching of muscles or tetany. Tetany is involuntary muscle contraction and severe other symptoms. So, having too little parathyroid hormone causes low levels of calcium and high levels of phosphorus in the body. This condition may not cause any serious medical problems when caught early, but it does require lifelong monitoring and treatment. So, this condition can be inherited but is also encountered after thyroid or parathyroid gland surgery, and it can be caused by immune system related damage as well as a number of other rare causes. And diagnosis is usually made with blood tests, other investigations like genetic testing, depending on the results. So, primary treatment is basically calcium and vitamin D supplementation, which we will discuss in detail in management portion. So, causes. Causes, uh, there may be several causes like removal or trauma to parathyroid gland due to thyroid surgery, thyroidectomy, or other surgical intervention to the neck, and this is a recognized cause. Another cause is autoimmune invasion and destruction, and it is most common non-surgical cause. It can occur as a part of autoimmune polyendocrine system. Another cause is hemochromatosis, and this can lead to iron accumulation and consequent dysfunction of a number of endocrine organs, including parathyroid gland. Another cause is absence of dysfunction of parathyroid gland and is one of the components of chromosome 22q11 microdeletion syndrome. This is a genetic syndrome. Others name are uh, DiGeorge syndrome, velocardiofacial syndrome, etc. And this DiGeorge syndrome is basically a disease in which there is hypoparathyroidism, which occur due to a total absence of parathyroid glands at birth. Familial hypoparathyroidism occurs with other endocrine diseases such as adrenal insufficiency in a syndrome called autoimmune polyglandular failure syndrome type 1 APS1. Another cause of hypoparathyroidism is a defect in calcium receptor, which leads to a rare congenital form of disease. Sometimes magnesium deficiency is also responsible for hypoparathyroidism. Another causes are idiopathic, occasionally familial or genetic causes, which can result this disease. Now, clinical features. Clinical features are usually due to low blood calcium level and which interferes with normal muscle contraction and nerve conduction. As a result, people with hypoparathyroidism can experience paresthesia, that is an unpleasant tingling sensation around the mouth and in the hands and feet, as well as muscle cramps and severe spasms known as tetany that affects the hands and feet. Many patients complain symptoms like fatigue, headache, bone pain, insomnia, crampy abdominal pain. If we do the physical examination, this may show hypocalcemia in the form of tetany, and it is also possible to provoke tetany of facial muscles by tapping on facial nerve, a phenomena known as Chopstick sign. Or it can be done by using a cuff of a sphygmomanometer to temporarily obstruct the blood flow to the arm, which is a phenomena known as Trophosine of latent tetany. So these are some clinical features. Other clinical features like seizures, severe irregularities in normal heartbeat, spasm of upper part of airways or smaller airways like bronchi, these all are considered under medical emergency situation. So these are the clinical features. In children, hypoparathyroidism may be experienced in the form of headache, vomiting, or dental issues such as weakened tooth enamel or poor tooth development. Now, differential diagnosis. Differential diagnosis is usually made with vitamin D deficiency or hereditary insensitivity to this vitamin. This is an X-linked dominant type of disease. Another differential diagnosis is made with malabsorption syndrome, sometimes with kidney diseases, and another differential diagnosis which is important is with pseudo-hypoparathyroidism. In this condition, normal parathyroid hormone level is there, but there is tissue insensitivity to the hormone associated with intellectual disability and skeletal deformity. So this is called pseudo-hypoparathyroidism, in which parath hormone level will be normal, but there is tissue insensitivity. So these are the differential diagnosis for hypoparathyroidism. Now there are some complications which should be watched out, like alkalosis, hypocalcemia, cataract, alopecia, convergent disorder. Diagnosis is done by measurement of calcium, serum albumin, and parathyroid hormone in blood. If necessary, cyclic AMP in urine after intravenous dose of parathyroid hormone is also done, which help in the distinction between hypoparathyroidism and another causes. Blood test is usually done besides calcium level checking, phosphorus, magnesium, and parath hormone. Urine test for calcium to determine if excess level of calcium are being secreted in urine. Electrocardiogram or ECG is used that measures the electrical activity of the heart. X-rays and bone density tests can help to determine if low calcium levels have affected bones. Now management. The management of hypothyroidism is lifelong with close monitoring of parathyroid hormone. The main aim of treatment is to normalize serum calcium and phosphorus level. So calcium supplement is given in the form of calcium gluconate or calcium carbonate in the dose of 1 to 3 grams in divided dose, and it is usually given with meals and with vitamin D preparation to ensure its better absorption. Lifelong treatment with close monitoring is required, and vitamin D3 or calcitriol is given in dose of 0.5 to 3 milligrams per day when serum parath hormone level is markedly reduced. If there is skeletal deformity, then it requires surgical intervention. Diet is given which is rich in calcium and low in phosphate. Calcium-rich foods such as beans, almonds, dark green, leafy vegetables, dairy products, fortified breakfast cereals, orange juices, oats, prunes, apricots. These are preferred diets. Certain phosphorus-rich foods which can significantly decrease calcium levels and should be avoided. These include soft drinks, eggs, red meat, refined food products like white bread, pasta, trans fats, which can be found in baked food materials, coffee, alcohol, and tobacco. So these all should be avoided. Sometimes severe hypocalcemia is a potential life-threatening condition and is treated as soon as possible as medical emergency. For this, intravenous calcium like calcium gluconate is required. For this, generally, a central venous catheter is recommended as calcium can irritate the peripheral veins and cause fluidity. In the event of life-threatening attack of low calcium level or tetany, which is prolonged muscle contraction, calcium is administered by intravenous infusion. Precautions are taken to prevent seizures or larynx spasms. Heart is monitored for abnormal rhythm until the person is stable. When the life-threatening attack has been controlled, then treatment is continued with medicine taken by mouth as often as 4 times per day. So long-term treatment of hypoparathyroidism is done with vitamin D, as I have explained, and calcium supplementation, but it may be ineffective in some cases due to potential renal damage. So the N-terminal segment of parath hormone has full biological activity and use of pump delivery of synthetic hormone provides closest approach to physiological parathyroid replacement therapy. This is a new type of management plan. Similarly, injections of recombinant human parathyroid hormones are available as treatment in those with low blood calcium levels, but the cost is very high. So this was all about hyperparathyroidism. In next lecture, we will cover some another topic. Namaskar. Have a nice day.